Hello everyone and welcome to the Back to Blighty podcast. My name is Becky and I'm joining you from the south coast of the UK where I live with my son, my partner and our two house rabbits, Lenny and Myrtle, who are currently under the table and booping my foot because they want snacks. And it's very ticklish when you haven't got anything on your feet. This is where I talk about all the yarn related goodies and I thought I'd better podcast today because this is going to be the last chance I get before September because we're off on our holidays soon and I shall be back at work. I feel a little bit husky today though, so fingers crossed there's nothing untoward going on, but I wanted to thank you first of all for all your lovely well wishes about my Bell's palsy. It was really kind of you and it was so lovely for those of you that said it wasn't really noticeable. It is still there, believe it or not. I have made a really good recovery and I'm really lucky that I am recovering really quickly, but I do still find that I get tired very easily, and also this eye still slows down when I'm tired and I still do get some facial twitching. But in the grand scheme of things I am doing so much better than when I last spoke to you, so but I just wanted to say a big thank you. So I have lots of stuff to show you today. I have 5, no less, finished objects. So I'm quite proud of myself. I have certainly found my knitting mojo. Sorry if you can hear creaking. I've got stuff in a basket here to show you and I'm leaning on it. So I think we shall just get straight into what's been going on really and what I've been working on. I do feel a little bit croaky, so I'm going to be sipping my tea through this, just bog standard Yorkshire tea with a bit of milk. But I might need to wet my whistle, just to keep me going throughout the podcast. Right, so what have I got to show you? My finished objects. So I have my Coral Cove socks. So I was working on these last time I spoke to you. This is a pattern by Yarnia Designs. I did a size 2 on a 2.5mm needle and I used West Yorkshire Spinners Marshmallow in the white, and these were some minis from Lorna Campbell Designs. And I just graded them up, but I absolutely love them. They are so gorgeous. I can't wait to wear them. It's a little bit hot at the moment. It's so warm outside. I would have worn actually one of my finished objects, but I just can't face it. Even though it's made out of cotton linen, there's just no way I'm putting anything really thick on today. But yeah, love these socks. A really good pattern, easily memorizable. So check out that one. It's on Ravelry. It's paid for pattern. But yeah, I've still got loads of these minis left, so I might actually just make another pair of these socks because I think they worked really well, and it's a good way of using up those scraps and minis and things as well. So yeah, very pleased with those. Put them over there. Right, so my next finished object was my Lulu Slipover, and this was kind of the slipover of doom. It was just cursed. Should I say, the cursed slipover. So I had been working on this for quite some time, and I was working on this particularly when I wasn't well because it was a mindless project. However, I made several errors, and the last one I just had to go with it and kind of, blag it a bit really. So this is I'm going to put it that side because of the shade. This is a slipover by Petite Knit. I knit it in BC Garn Loch Lomond, and the colour was, let's have a look, number 10. And it's this lovely blue, but it's got these gorgeous sort of tweedy neps in it. It is so lovely. Loved it. The reason why it was a bit of a pain in the neck was because I was lazy and I didn't want to do a tubular bind off on the bottom, and then when I did the armholes and the neck, which have got that tubular bind off, I realised that actually I did want that tubular bind off, so I had to unpick and redo the bind off on the cast off edge on the front and the back, which was fine. That didn't take too long. Anyway, I was sort of zipping away, getting it done, and then I was working on these plackets. Now these plackets are double knitted. They're a bit of a faff, to be honest with you. I mean, they look great, but they're a nightmare. They're done on a 2.5mm needle, and oh, they just take forever. Anyway, did the back ones, did one of the front ones, and then thought the front's longer than the back. So this whole section was much longer, and I'd obviously got my front and back muddled up when I was knitting it when I was poorly. So I then had to undo that, rip back the front so that the front is slightly shorter. So it is a bit more cropped than I intended it to be, but that's fine because I wear a lot of high-waisted jeans and skirts and things anyway, so that doesn't bother me at all. And then you're supposed to do a buttonhole. I couldn't be faffed. I was like, I haven't got time for this. I just want this done, out of my life and on me. I absolutely love the pattern. It fits me so beautifully. It's got this lovely shoulder detail at the back here, which I just think, I mean, the details are great on it. But yeah, I'm just glad it's off my needles. Will I be making another one again? No. Life's too short to be doing all this double knitting. And also I think because I pretty much knit it twice, because of all my mistakes, it just felt like it went on forever. But I am so pleased with it. It's going to be lovely for work in the autumn, and even actually in the cool evenings. I've got a white summer dress and that over the top of it would just be lovely. So it's really lightweight. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous yarn. I would definitely use the yarn again. I just wouldn't do this project again because I'm just a bit done with it. The pattern was really, really clear. I just clearly wasn't in the headspace to be doing that. So when I was poorly. So yeah, so that is my second finished object. The other finished object I've got is my Tendreil Tee, which I was working on last time. It's still a little bit damp actually, so it's been blocking, and that isn't the colour. It's funny, isn't it, how the camera really changes blue. This is like a petrol. In fact, I think it is called petrol. It's knit out of Drops Bell, and the colour is number 13. And yeah, it's a real petrol-y colour, but it's a really, really lovely blue. And it's got these gorgeous twisted stitches down the front. And I was enabled by Emily of Emily Knits podcast to do this one because she knit one and it was just gorgeous. It's got these lovely, again, details down the back here, shoulder seams, tubular bind off, and I miscalculated again. I bought the yarn when I was poorly. I miscalculated. I needed an extra ball of yarn, but because it was Drops Bell, I went onto a warehouse and got the same dye lot, and that was fine. I just needed to finish about half of one of the little sleeves, but I'm really, really pleased that it's a nice drapey yarn. Did I enjoy knitting with it? It was okay. I think what I found about myself more recently is I like a finer gauge. I actually really enjoy knitting in fingering weight yarn, and I like the finish of that. So even though it takes me a bit longer, I think I do prefer that. But I will wear this loads, again for work or with a white summer skirt, something like that, or just jeans. It's going to be lovely. So yeah, pattern's really good. The pattern, don't know if I said, it's by the Knit Pearl Girl. Really easy, really clear. I would definitely knit another one of her patterns, but yeah, really love those details down the front there. They just look so good, and it's nice because it adds a bit of interest when you're close up, but it's not too in your face when you're back here. So very, very happy with that one. So I need to hang that up again so that it dries completely. It's still a bit damp around the ribbing on the sleeves. So how many is that? 3. So yeah, so I've done those. Let's go for a new cast on that I have finished. I haven't sewn in the ends yet, but I wanted to cast on and use up some of my stash, and some of my stash is obviously hand spun because I do spin as well. And so I decided to use some hand spun that I spun up last year, year before, I can't remember, but it was this gorgeous floof that I had from John Arbon. It was their Viola top, which is a merino, and this was in the colour Nimbus, and I knit another Criostal Shawl. Let me go around the back of the chair so you can see properly. There we go. So this shawl I have knit before. I knit it in Plutulopi, and I'm not doing a very good job. Look, rubbish model. There we go. I knit this in Plutulopi, a few years ago, and I wore that shawl to death. I wore it till it fell apart. And so I thought, actually, I've got this hand spun, which turned out to be like a worsted weight. I shall just use that. So I just literally weighed the yarn, worked till I was halfway, and then started decreasing. So, and I have this much left. So I'm pretty happy that I managed to use up all that yarn. I'm going to regret this, but I normally wear them kind of like this, all bunched up. It's got this lovely detail around the edging as well. God, that is warm. But also it's one of those shawls, and I don't wear a shawl like this very often, but these shawls I do. I just kind of chuck them over my shoulders, and they look really nice like that as well. So yes, I'm very pleased. Obviously I have got ends to weave in, but yeah, I really enjoyed doing it. Fancied a bit of lace, fancied a little bit of something a bit different. But yeah, the pattern is by Albionia McLaughlin. She's also done a cardigan with this pattern on the sleeves, which I really fancy. It's a really simple lace pattern. There's nothing tricky about it. And also, if you're ever wondering what your hand spun will look like knitted up, because it might be a bit thick and thin, actually, it's got one of my hairs on it. A project like this that's quite open is really good because you don't notice the inconsistencies of it. Yeah, whereas actually when you look at the actual yarn, look, it is thick and thin in places. It's not great in places, but yeah, it doesn't matter. So it can hide a multitude of sins, but it is so soft, and that's why I wanted to use it around my neck, really, because it is so soft and it's very light as well. So yeah, so I'm really pleased to have that in the autumn and winter, because I know that I will wear it an awful lot around the house and things like that. So my fifth finished object, I'm being a bit cheeky really, because I'm not sure I can actually really count it as a finished object, but I took out my Tolster, which I showed you last time. This is the Tolster Tee by Rebecca Clow, and I had made mine out of John Arbon Down the Allotment minis with Skiddaw Nep from Woolly Knit, which is a 4-ply British wool, which I held double. And you may remember that I did the sleeves and I did them to about here, and they were just that little bit too short. But now it is the perfect length. If I hold that up, you can see how long that is. So I'm really happy with this one. I realised actually I haven't put this on Ravelry, so I will actually include that. Need to take some photos. I'm just not sure I can face it. Might not have a photo just yet, but yeah, I absolutely love this jumper. I wore it a lot last year, and I will wear it so much more now that I've got that extra couple of inches on the arm. So very happy with that. So they're all my finished objects. So I'm quite pleased with myself, quite proud actually, how much I've done. So yeah, I think now I'll have a bit of a switch around and we'll talk about works in progress. Okay, so works in progress. I'm still working on things like my granny triangle crochet blanket. That's not really a blanket, it's a shawl. Anyway, you know which one I mean. I'm still working away on that. I've done a bit on that. But yeah, there's not much to show because each row now is like so long. So I haven't got much to show you on that, but I've done a few inches. My Norma sweater I won't be picking up until the weather gets cooler because the mohair really makes my hands hot. And I don't think I've got anything else. Oh, my Noxigans cowl. Again, I'll pick that up at some point. In fact, I might take that away with me because it's quite a mindless knit. Anyway, so I haven't been working on those things, but I think that's all of my works in progress that I've got kind of on the needles at the moment. So I have 2 new cast-ons, which I'm really excited about. So I wanted to, as I say, go through my stash and use up some of that stash. And some of my yarns that I have are kind of oddballs of like Jameson Shetland 2-ply jumper weight yarn, and just kind of odds and sods really. So I wanted to rake some of those out and see what I could use. and I decided I was going to cast on the Tarra Shawl by Goodwin Johnson. It is a pattern that was in Shetland Wool Week magazine, and I thought that's a great way of just using up a few odd balls of yarn. So I decided to go for 3 colours, this orange and this blue, and also a yellow which I used up. Because my coat is a teal blue, I wanted to kind of incorporate that. Again, that isn't the right blue, it's much more teal in that, a bit like the Tendreil Tee. And also I had some of this Laxton's lamb's wool as well, which isn't quite as itchy. So I don't find Jameson Smith particularly itchy, but actually around your neck it is quite nice to have something a bit softer. So I decided to use some of this Laxton's lamb's wool as well, which is so soft. And I cast on, as I say, the Tarra Shawl, and I don't know quite how I'm going to show you this because it's quite difficult. I've done the colours and it gives me, I was thinking to myself, I'm not sure what vibe these colours are giving me, but I'm not sure I like it. And I did the whole of the feather and fan section and I was like, oh, I'm not sure I like it. But now I love it, and I think it's like that 70s vibe. It's very hard to show you because I am at the moment doing short rows to finish the shawl off. But this is as far as I've got. And here are the colours. They are a bit more muted than they're coming out on screen. But yeah, I always wanted to kind of have a go at a shawl or a hat with this lovely feather and fan, is it called? Lace on it. And I just thought, what a great way of using up some of those odd scraps that I've got. So yeah, so I'm whizzing around. It's not knit in the round, it's knit flat, but obviously because I'm doing these short rows, you can see they're getting a bit bigger in depth, but I just think it's going to look lovely when it's done. Look at that. What do you think? Quite like it. The reason I went for the orange as well is because I knit myself some little mitts called the Outfoxed mitts, and they are orange and kind of that oatmeal colour. So I kind of thought that these two, I've dropped the grey, but this and the grey will go really nicely with this scarf. So yeah, so I'm very, very happy with how this is working out, and I think I'm going to have enough to maybe do like a little beret, maybe just a plain one, maybe with a bit of orange, I don't know, we shall see. But I'm really enjoying the project. I would knit this again. This is only about 5 days worth of knitting just in the evenings. You obviously start on the longest row. I think you have to cast on something like 380 odd stitches, so it's quite long. So the first row is so long, but because you've got this pattern repeat and you've got stripes, you just go, oh, just get to the next stripe, just get to the next stripe. And all the way, even up to here, I was like, I don't know about those colours, because if you take that away, oh, that's a lot for me. That's quite in your face for me. But actually now we're getting to the neutral. Yeah, I really love it. And I think it's going to be a really wearable shawl, being not too deep, but actually I think it's going to be quite long. So yeah. So that's coming on really, really nicely, and I'm very happy with that, and also happy to be getting some yarn out of my stash. And the other thing that I've cast on, these are both living in Elderman Craft bags, by the way. You know, can you see the bunny theme? By my lovely friend Emma. Yeah, the other one that I cast on is something that I have been keen to cast on for a while. Now I know that I said that I won't be doing the Norma sweater because the mohair makes my hands too hot, but it feels like when I'm working with just 4-ply yarn, I mean this is Shetland, it doesn't make my hands hot, and I think it's because it's so fine. Anyway, I have been looking to cast this on for ages. This is the Kate Davies Cheery cardigan. Now I'm not sure that's how you pronounce it. I know that's what it means in Gaelic, but yeah, we're just going to go with the Kate Davies cardigan. And I knit this swatch some time ago, which I absolutely loved, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to cast on this like complete colour work cardigan. Anyway, I did it. I was like, I'm going to cast that on. So I am using, this is woolly knit again. It's a merino, so it's quite soft, and actually it's lovely. And I can't remember what colour this is, but it's just a beigey oatmeal-y colour in their merino, whichever one that is. If you go on their online shop, I'm sure you'll find it. And I'm pairing that with Wee County Yarns in the Hawthorn colourway, which is this gorgeous chestnut brown with all these gorgeous colours in it. So yeah, so that's them there. So lovely contrast, and this is as far as I have got. Hold on, bear with. So this is as far as I've got, and this brings me so much joy. And I think this is what I was saying about knitting in a finer weight yarn and colour work. For me, it is one of my favourite things to do, because just look at that. Now with Wee County Yarns, with their yarn, they are spun in the oil. So they do have a bit of a feel about them when you're knitting with them, and it doesn't bother me, but it feels quite rough and not unpleasant, but just not the softest, most pliable fabric. And this is how it looks. But when you've washed it, you can see how it fluffs. Can you see that? It all kind of merges together, and it is such a soft drapey fabric. It's going to be lovely. So yeah, so I'm zipping away. So this is a bottom up cardigan. It has a steek, so there's my steek there, and I'm just zipping up at the moment. So this should work out. I am doing size 2, I think, which should come out as a 37-inch chest, and I'm a 34, so that's plenty of ease for me, and it's quite size inclusive. It goes up quite a few sizes, I believe. I think Kate is quite size inclusive in her designs, which is a great thing, because yeah, we should all be inclusive. But yeah, I am loving it, absolutely. This just makes my heart sing. So I am getting on with that. The other lovely thing about this one is when I did my Yule sweater, it was quite hard to keep track of, and I had to have stitch markers every so often so I knew where the repeats were. With this, I mean, it's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's about 10, it was 11 rows, say 10 to 12 stitch repeat, but it's so simple just to read what you've done underneath it. You actually don't need to worry about putting those markers in. But yeah, loving it. It's going to be a long old job, I think. My last colourwork, all over colourwork sweater, took me what, 2-3 years, but there was lots of colours in that, whereas this is just the 2 colours. Oh, it just makes me so happy. I love that. So that is what I'm working on. So those 2 things there. Now I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, because in my last podcast episode I made a bit of a faux pas. I bought some Drops Air. I think I bought Drops Air in a pink, and I was like, oh yeah, because I've knit a cardigan in this before. No, I haven't. No, again, obviously the Bell's palsy brain was kicking in. I knit my cardigan, my Anna Lee cardigan, out of Drops Sky, not Drops Air, and I've decided that I don't think I want a cardigan with Drops Air, because it's too unspun. It's just going to pill like mad. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do, so I'm holding off of that at the moment. I might just de-stash the yarn. Yeah, I don't know, I need to think about that. Otherwise I haven't got any plans. I want to do the Wiget socks by my lovely friend Nancy Wheeler, in my Eldenwood yarn, Wicket yarn, and I haven't started that yet, and I'd like to do that. And also I made my dad a pair of shorties. I think I showed you on the last podcast, and he absolutely loves them. He is a shorty convert, so I have said to him that I will make him another pair of socks. So I'm not sure what else I'm going to do for me. I really liked actually just thinking, what have I got in my stash? Let's look for a pattern, and doing that. So I might do that again, and we'll just see what happens, shall we? That is all my knitting to show you. I have been doing a bit of spinning. I did some spinning during Tour de Fleece, but not very much because obviously I wasn't well, but I enjoyed that. And I've also been using my Turkish spindles, which I've had a lot of fun with. I really enjoy that, and I seem to get a really consistent spin with a Turkish spindle, more so than on my wheel. And I think it's because, I don't know why, maybe I'm just looking at it, whereas with my spinning wheel sometimes I get a bit complacent and I think I just like, yeah, just let it go, let it do its thing, which is fine too. So I have been doing a little bit of spinning. I haven't done any weaving, so I've still got my bathroom curtains to finish. They'll get done at some point. But otherwise I think that's about it. So yeah, it is nearly the end of August. I am going off on my holidays next week, which I'm looking forward to, we're going to go up to Yorkshire and spend some time with friends and family, which I'm very, very excited about. And then it will be back into the swing of work, and getting myself used to being back at work again. So yeah, otherwise the bunnos are fine. They are going on holiday too. They're going to a bunny boarding place where they've got a nice hotel room booked. Honestly, so they're going to be going off on their holidays too while we're away. So it's nice to know that they're going to be looked after and loved while we're away for a little while. Anyway, I'm starting to babble now, so I shall say goodbye to you for now. Thank you for spending a bit of time with me. Let me know any scrappy kind of projects. You see, when I say about a scrappy project, I don't mean something like a granny wrap shawl. Do you know what I mean? I don't mean something that looks scrappy. Does that make sense? So for instance, with this Tarra shawl, that doesn't look scrappy. That's what I like. So if anyone's got any ideas of things, then please pop them in the comments below, and let me know what you're working on and what your plans are for the rest of the summer. Right, going now. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in September's podcast. Take care.